Okay, one last topic I want to get to before we get out of here. The importance of sleep.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Go to sleep right now.
And the reason I ask is because, again, we talked a little bit earlier, just we have so many things going on, so many distractions in our lives. I think most people in our age group tends to go to bed, and when they're falling asleep, they're kind of like this, right? So how important is sleep generally, and what are some like long-term effects of not getting enough sleep?
So many. Sleep, it's literally our body's charge system. So it's whenever we build muscle, we recharge our system. And without that charge, like you have no energy and your body can't function properly. So long-term effects is everything that,
Death.
literally like you can die if you don't have enough sleep.
Right.
But it's more like hormonal changes. You can have an increase in cortisol, which can lead to things like diabetes. Like it's kind of a trickle effect of things that can happen whenever you're not charging your system correctly.
And like from a nutrition standpoint too, like people who even acutely get a poor night's sleep, the next day they tend to eat more, like 500 plus more calories than people who slept well. And once again, it's because the body, like she said, sleep is the charging system. And so if you don't get enough sleep, in a way to compensate with the lower energies and the irritability that you may feel and stuff, your brain is very smart. So it starts making signals for you to have, you know, like foods that are more hyper palatable, that are, you know, made from high carbohydrates and high fat intake, because that combination of food releases endorphins in the brain. It, you know, increases serotonin, it increases dopamine. So it helps the brain and you to feel better. But additionally, glucose, which is the breakdown of carbohydrates, is the brain's preferred method of energy. And so like, if you are tired and your brain didn't get enough sleep and it's feeling sluggish, it's going to signal for you to eat, you know, some pizza, eat a donut, have some chips, get takeout instead of making food.
I was gonna say, 'cause that's like a combination of, it's got the carbs, but also has the ease of access, and it's all sugary and good.
And
You
it's
get the
simple
dopamine
complex
spike.
too.
Yeah.
It's simple carbohydrates instead of complex ones, which just means it gets broken down quicker, so you get a quicker energy release. And so like if you're chronically sleep deprived, like chances are you're not making great choices around food, which can, you know, lead to obesity, diabetes, things like that. You know, from like a kind of including what we were just talking about with like hormones and stuff, you know, like women, you know, so how a lot of times like women will be like, oh, I don't want to tonight, I'm tired or whatever. Like that's, as annoying as that may be, like it is a legitimate thing, because, you know, guys, you're just made out of testosterone, and testosterone is the main hormone for libido or sex drive. And since we don't have high levels of testosterone is made at night when we sleep. So if we're not sleeping enough, then our body's not producing enough testosterone. And so we don't have a libido at that point. Then we don't have a sex drive because we are actually tired. And so like, you know, it causes changes in the hormones. It, you know, it can cause digestive issues. It can cause headaches. It can cause all sorts of things. Poor performance in the gym, poor recovery, everything. Because like Gabby said, like if that sleep is when our body heals and grows and replenishes and regenerates. And if you're not getting enough sleep, like that can have, you know, detrimental outcomes depending on how long that goes for and how severe of lack of sleep it is. And I don't know, but it's like sleep is hard. Like I struggle with sleep a lot.
Same.
And
it's just because of the distractions that we have in this day and age, is like the phone, the TV. And I feel like people get so reliant on being on their phone and watching a TV show or whatever you do before you go to bed in order to fall asleep, whenever it's
I literally fall
counterproductive.
asleep to YouTube every night.
Yeah.
And I know it's not good for me.
Yeah.
But it's like, and sometimes I have the thought process as I'm going, like laying down, and I'm like, wait, do I really need a form of entertainment all day up until when I go to sleep? Like, what the fuck?
That's what our phones are doing to us.
Yeah.
It's because we're always stimulated, and when we don't have that, the brain's like, "What? You're not giving me what you usually give me."
Give me my dopamine.
Yeah.
Right.
give me a hit.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
What the frick? But
Yeah, so it's like sleep. It's hard to change. I think it's probably one of the hardest habits to change.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
tough, but
and it's all based on habit, because we get in a habit of you're gonna watch your YouTube channel, and without that, it's hard to it's going to take a couple of weeks to build a new habit, and people don't have that type of discipline to go through a period of poor sleep in order to build that new habit of, okay, I'm not going to be on my phone before I go to bed, or I'm just going to have a good nighttime routine, because it's going to take a period. With anything, it takes time in order to build a new.
Yeah, and it's a lot of things that like you don't want to do. Like, you know, a lot of times if you have a hard time staying asleep at night and like you find yourself constantly waking up and like checking your phone or scrolling on your phone to kind of like tire yourself out again, like the way to break that is actually whenever you wake up, and if you can't fall asleep right away, get out of your bed and then go to a different room, and as soon as you get tired, then go back to bed, because our brain also builds up like perceived anxiousness around it. So like if you're sleeping in bed and you can't fall asleep and you're like, fuck, like I'm so tired, and you go to sleep and stuff, like your brain starts soaking that up, and so now it's associating your bedroom as a place of like anxiety and a place of awakeness instead of a place of rest. So like people who fall asleep on the couch a lot before going to bed, that's creating a really negative impact on their sleep, because now your brain is learning that the couch is the place of rest. This is where we sleep. And then so when you get up and you go to bed and then maybe you might have a hard time falling back asleep again, it's because your brain is like, well, we're in the place of awakeness. Like we sleep on the couch. Bed is where we stress. Why are we? And it gets confused. And so like it's hard to break those habits, and it's hard to like, you know, not have stimulus. So a lot of times like people eat in bed, they work in bed, they, you know, they do things in their bedroom other than sleep and sex that then trains their brain that once again, this is a place where we are awake and we are stimulated. It's not a place of rest. And so one, even identifying like, are those habits going on? Is that problem going on? Is there actual anxiety like around sleep? It's hard for people to identify, and then to actually change is hard. And it's like the whole idea of like, you should be in bed by 9 p.m. and like up by 6 a.m. Like once again, that creates perceived stress around that, because if you're going to bed at 9, trying to fall asleep at 9, but you can't fall asleep because you're not actually tired, then once again, you're just reconfirming to your brain that my bedroom and my bed is a place of stressing and being awake. So there's a whole, I don't know. It's like this.
Mm-hmm. And
It's
it
a hard
doesn't
thing.
matter. Yeah, it doesn't, like the times don't matter. Everyone's different. It's just getting that quality sleep, because I feel like people stress about, oh, I need to go to bed by 9, 10, whatever it is. And then again, that creates that system of stress, and then you're not able to sleep. And it's just focusing and listening to your body whenever you are tired. Go to bed when you are tired, and then you get that quality sleep.
Or
rather
they rely
than
on
quantity.
sleep medication.
Yeah.
Which doesn't do much. It only just sedates the brain. So your brain doesn't actually go through the different sleep cycles. That's why you wake up feeling groggy and like even more tired and worn out, because your brain didn't get any rest. And once again, then you start making poor food choices.
Or you become a fucking Ambien junkie.
That too.
And you hear all those crazy stories of those people sleepwalking.
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking Rogan has a bit about it where he's talking about a comedian friend of his that at one was such a bad Ambien junkie that he woke up. He thought he was asleep. He woke up, turned on his oven, got in his car, went to the supermarket, got a turkey, got mashed potatoes, came back, made a full meal, ate the food, went to bed, got up, called the cops. Because he freaked out.
The cops.
Yeah.
I just made a turkey.
He got him and found a whole like half-eaten fucking turkey and all this shit in his kitchen. He's like, who the fuck broke in here and ate my food? And he's like, and then he saw the security cameras of him doing all this shit, and he doesn't remember any of it.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
That's sleep
He's
medication.
lucky that like his house didn't fucking burn down.
Yeah.
While he was gone at the store.
Crazy fucking shit.
Hey.
Listen, this has been almost fucking 3.5 hours.
Woo.
Shoot, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what time is it? Dang.
3.5 fucking hours. This has been a blast.
Yeah, thank you for having us on.
Thank you guys for coming by.